everyone. Welcome to another episode of the Quantum Bridge. We've got a great new exciting guest for you. I think he's very interesting. Casper and I have actually watched one of Dennis's interviews where he talks about his life and the NDE, his near-death experience. We will put that information in the description below because it will complement what we're going to talk about today. You'll get some background about Dennis. So on that note, though, I will pass over to Casper to introduce him properly today.
Yeah. Thanks, Gary. That was the Next Level Soul podcast that we both watched. So we will obviously put that information in our description and show more section because we both found that fantastic. But without further ado, I'm welcoming here Dennis Bullock, and I'd very much like to get into a conversation. But before I do that, hi, Dennis. Really good to have you with us.
Hello, Casper. Hello, Gary.
Thank you very much for joining us all the way from Switzerland. Despite Dennis's background, he's actually not somewhere necessarily hot today. Dennis, look, really, really pleased that you joined us. Gary and I, as Gary mentioned, have both watched and listened to that particular podcast. I know that you've been on others, but hopefully we take this down a route and an angle that's slightly new and different. People absolutely can go back and revisit that, look at your story, your history, where the current Dennis has sort of come from in this iteration. But I'm very, very keen to hear more about not just the genesis of the new Dennis, so to speak, but actually what your life entails now. So, Dennis, hi, nice to speak with you. Lovely to have you on the show, and welcome.
Well, thank you for having me here, Gary and Casper. It's a real pleasure to be here. Really.
Thank you. We feel the same. Now, just to give people a quick bit of background, you might want to jump in on this, Dennis, and feel free to at any moment. I might not get all of this correct, but Dennis is a guy from the States, originally from the States, I believe, who had a number of experiences, probably going back to throughout his childhood and slightly later life, but culminating in two things, really. Unfortunately, the passing at a point in Dennis's life of his mother, and then a whole load of experiences that seemed to manifest around and out of that, which were very profound. And then another equally, if not more profound, moment of effectively dying and leaving his body, despite the fact he's here with us today. So those two experiences appeared to inform and formulate and be assimilated into a brand new version of Dennis. Of course, the same soul, but an absolutely pivotal changes that happened. And maybe looking back, Dennis, you might say that you'd felt these things or aspects of this sort of openness to a deeper world out there throughout your whole life. But it seems that those are the two pivotal experiences that led to the Dennis that we see now and the Dennis that I'd love to talk about. So just before I go on with other questions and Gary and I talk to you about other aspects of your more recent life, is there anything you'd like to say about those more profound earlier experiences?
Yeah, well, it was quite a roller coaster because in the beginning it was so profound with my mother's situation that I didn't think anyone would believe me, so I just didn't talk about it in the beginning. I was 29 years old, and then this happened, and my mother was fine. I found she had died, and she, after 2 weeks, she came to my room in Montreal, Canada at that time where I was staying, and visited me. So it changed my life for sure, that I knew she was all right. That was the first thing, because I didn't have any idea about death and what happens. Where did it go? And all I knew is this body that I saw was gone, and there was nothing in it. I could feel that there was a shell, was nothing in it. And she came back and to tell me that everything was fine. In fact, she's more than fine. She's like this super woman, I would say, at that point. And but it was so incredible. And at the same time, she saved my life. because she could see in the future. So she told me things about the future that saved my life, because otherwise I would have had a confrontation with a particular person, and it wouldn't have, it would, she even told me about timelines, and she said there was only 2 timelines left in that situation with me in this confrontation with this guy, and I had to act a certain way in order to survive it.
Yeah.
If I didn't act a certain way, I would be caught on one of the timelines, which means that I would either be killed or I would be thrown in jail for killing someone else,
Yeah.
for attacking me. So, she opened my mind to timelines. Like, what timelines? What? It was the most shocking thing, because you think, all your religious background, oh God, and Jesus and all these things, and here she's coming back talking like Star Trek. Hey, watch out for these 2 timelines, and what timelines, and yeah, so that blew my mind, but I had to put it back, because none of the people my age and my band nobody would ever believe me. So I kind of try to, okay, let's get back to normal life. You finished it. Everything she said came true. And we went on to normal life. Even about my girlfriend at that time, when I was 29, everything was correct about her. She's so then I tried to move on, and then I went on living try to live like a normal guy, that nothing happened. I tried to do that, and I ended up in a bad situation, where I was following this legend of a singer. I mean, they had this renewed Platters group, not the original Platters, but a renewed group. And this lead singer was incredible, and I was following this lead singer till he introduced me to drugs, and I thought it was the right way to go, so I followed him until he died. He died, and then I did his last show with him. And when he died, I decided to stop cold turkey. No kind of drugs, no major drugs, nothing like that. So I replaced it with marijuana. And every now and then, once a month or twice a month, I would smoke a joint or not, And this one time I ran out of marijuana, and then me and my girlfriend at that time, I called a friend. And I have to say to everybody is that all musicians,
Oh yeah,
no matter where you put them in the world, no matter where you put them, they're gonna know where to get marijuana. It's just
well, there is something about this thing of creativity and certainly certain types of drugs, maybe all drugs, but very much those that are consciousness expanding, or or relaxant, or whatever they might be. It just,
exactly. Exactly. But I don't know if you want me to continue to explain the whole experience, or just touch it a little bit.
I'd really like, just because you've touched on that on other things, and I'm so keen, I think Gary is too, to talk about this thing of the 2 worlds split. So the sort of 3D versus 5D, and the way you view things now as being frequency. I just think those are such important messages that I haven't seen you fully develop with anybody else. That, of course, I don't want to stop you from saying anything at all, and say whatever you like.
Okay.
But I just think that those are such important things. That's all.
Okay. Well, I just have to say, when I passed away, I got information when I came back. Yeah. And this information was the opposite of what I ever believed.
Yeah.
Okay. My mother gave me hints. That was the first experience, that timelines exist. But when the second time happened, I got information about vibration. I got information, so much stuff. I get goosebumps even now thinking about it.
Yeah.
But for sure, what's happening now to us right now is, I got the soul explanation of the whole thing, and that was that the earth, we all have soul contracts. Okay. And somebody asked me, is destiny and free will, is it either one or the other? And it's both.
Yeah.
because you're going to have certain people come in your life no matter what, but you still have free will to either turn them down or walk away from them.
Yeah.
You still have the free will. But certain things, because here's the other big thing: we came here as souls to experience. It's not to necessarily grow, because the soul's perfect on the other side. It doesn't need any kind of growth, but it's came to experience. It's like it knows how to drive. Read all the books about how to drive a car, but never experienced driving a car. So it came here to actually do that. And we are in third density. So on the other side, it's high vibrations, super high vibrations. So, I mean, it's just like, if you look, I tell people, a lot of my clients, because they ask about dead loved ones, or do they come and see them? And I say, think of the propeller on a plane. It's going very fast to the point where it looks to our naked eye that it's disappeared. But if you stick your finger in there, you know it's really there. Okay. But it's the same for souls. They're vibrating on such a high vibration that it's very much faster than our vibration. And it appears that they are not there. There's nobody there. But that's not true. They're there. If you call their name, they will appear. They'll be, in fact, they probably say, well, what do you want? You're interrupting me from doing so many things. But yes, we're on the vibrational change. It's never been done before. The Earth is rising to fifth dimension. We kind of currently in fourth dimension at the moment. Okay, fourth dimension will be it'll be a lot about extraterrestrial, and also about time, and also about spiritual teachings. And you'll have to watch out for gurus that tell you, I'm the only way you can go. You can't do it yourself, because that's what that particular 4D will be about.
Yeah.
But the truth is, what I tell all my clients, everything is inside of you. I said, you don't need anybody. I said, only thing I do is I kind of nudge you and tell you about it, that you can do it yourself.
Yeah.
Okay. Because we all part of the light, and we all have power beyond your imagination. So we all can do it. But this, as the frequency rises, and I tell my clients, the reason why, and it wasn't just COVID, the reason why at one point it looked like the whole world just went crazy, because that frequency changed. The whole planet's frequency changed. And what that means is that logic went out the window, because you can no longer logically do something and expect that it's going to definitely happen. It may and it may not, because the people who are doing their normal things, their world is, a lot of them, their world is turned upside down.
Yeah.
Because of the frequency. Now, this rise in vibration is a good thing. It is not a bad thing. It's not what the media and governments are trying to tell you. It's getting worse. Now, actually, it's getting better, because there's more and more light. But what is happening, because there's more and more light literally coming to the planet? If you check out the Schumann resonance, you're going to find that the Schumann resonance normally at 7.83, which is the same frequency of the human brain. It is now spiking to 300 and plus. Okay, if you Google it. And what's that doing? What that's doing is actually changing your DNA. Just from that alone. And the planet Earth is preparing the body to be in a 50 dimension. But not everybody's going to get there. Now, the reason why is because the Earth is asking all the souls. This is what I got from the other side. The Earth is asking all the souls, what vibration do you want to be on? Now, this is not a judgment. It's just a question, because soon, once the Earth hits that 5D frequency, once it's completed, the whole Earth has that 5D frequency, that will be it. Whatever frequency you are on, you'll be stuck on it until you leave the planet.
And the interesting thing, Dennis, about that, I believe you'd go along with this, is that there's no judgment about for those that decide and make the soul choice, or however we want to view that, or they view it.
Yeah. I want to say this. Now, I also, in my downloads, I got God's point of view about it. And it was, let's say Gary chose to stay on 3D.
Yeah, probably.
Hopefully not, but yes.
God says Gary took the long road home, but he's coming home. That's
Yeah.
it.
Yeah.
Or Casper says it took the 5D. Oh, Casper took the short
Probably,
road
yeah.
home.
Yeah.
Took the short road home, but
I
he's
took the
coming
scenic
home.
route. I don't. Yeah, no, I don't like scenic routes. I quite like motorways and A roads.
Right.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So
I knew
there.
the one thing that would get Gary would be to say that he's staying on 3D.
Okay. So there's no judgment in it, but it is the fact that the earth is a soul. That's another thing. It's alive.
Yeah.
And the second thing is that it doesn't want to play the 3D game anymore. And oh yeah, by the way, this is a game, by the way.
Yeah.
Okay. We actually
I think we're in total agreement. I just want to throw one
we
thing
take it
into
too
that.
slowly. Seriously, go ahead.
Yeah, I just wanted to throw one thing into, because I totally believe that. If anything, on some level, it's all a big cosmic joke, right? So, but anyway, the other reason that I believe that we are here, or I've had maybe comparable, and I don't even want to call them experiences, because that's not enough of a way to reference this complete paradigm shift of being the all and everything. And I don't mean that from an ego perspective, because there's no ego in that moment and in that timing. But the thing I did want to say is, I don't know how you feel about this, but I don't want to go into my own stuff. I just wanted to say that my takeaway from something that we maybe talk about on another complete other podcast, but was that one of the reasons that we are here is to experience the friction of duality, that there's something both horrendous about that and amazingly beautiful that you can't have in other higher dimensionalities. How do you feel about that thing of we have all decided to be here? We've not been pushed here.
Well, first thing you have to understand, on the other side, everybody that is born to the earth is a hero, because you left the security of all love, the security of the power that you have to create anything you want. You never have lack. You left the security of no death. That you came down here to experience the illusion of it. So you in the other soul's eyes, you're like a superhero, and when you get back to the other side, you'll be like the new movie on the block, the best movie on the block. Oh, you went to Earth. Oh my God. And they all want to experience, because on the other side, we can exchange energies and experience exactly what you experienced on there. So, but a lot of souls would never come here, because and in fact, babies that die premature deaths when they come here and they only live for 3 weeks or something like that, it's because they said, I can't take it. This is too small, this place, this space. No way, I can't take it. I changed my mind. Yeah, that's what happens. That's what happens.
Absolutely. Yeah.
But yes, you can't experience lack of love. You can't experience loneliness. You can't experience depression on the other side. You can't experience that. So yes, you come down here because it's like this. I explain it like this to my clients. If you are white and you live in a white room and everything you see is white, you don't know you're white until you see a purple room, a blue room, an orange room. Then you say, oh, I'm the white room. And it's the same here. If you, on the other side, if you experience only love, only joy, only love, you don't even know the value of it. You don't even know that you are love until you come and experience the opposite.
Separation, yeah.
Yes. Then there's even a higher value. You see, but it's all to experience, though. Now, when people say, "Oh, you got to go to a school," you got to no, it's not a school, but it is something you choose, and it is something free to choose. You're not forced to come here. That's not true. And people who pass away and they say, "Oh, I was sent back," it's probably by their higher self.
Yeah, agreed.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, totally agree. Totally agree. I mean, these are the takeaways. Not that it matters what has or hasn't happened to me or what I've experienced. The only reason I mention them is actually because you're one of the few people, if not the only person, I've ever really heard iterate it and put it into words, and to be bold enough to come out and say, to speak your truth. And I like the fact that sort of you accept that I think the key thing is when I speak to Gary and we have our conversations about why are we here, why are we enduring all of this, whatever, I say because it's profoundly boring being in bliss all the time.
Yes, believe it or not, people have a hard time about that. But believe it or not, you can get bored.
Yeah.
Because everything is perfect. Everything is perfect, whatever you do. But you have a lot to look at. There's different dimensions, different planets, extraterrestrials, other spirits, ancestors. The list goes on.
Derek, can I just ask you something? Derek, sorry, can I just ask you something about your experience with in that place, which isn't a place, but in that realm, maybe. Did you experience the thing of as a question arose in you, it was already answered?
That. No, actually, when I passed, I was having so much fun with my powers.
Fair enough.
And that's when God interrupted at a point, and I guess because my heart was at this point that it had stopped for so long that at this point, if I don't go back now, I may have to stay. That's what was given. So, and it wasn't even a command. It was more like a choice. Which choice do you want to make? It was
almost a reminder.
Yes, exactly. And I said, yes, exactly. In fact, I said to myself, "Oh, yeah, that's right."
Yeah.
I said that to God. Oh, yeah, that's right.
Yeah.
and then
that's because you're putting something back to. I mean, obviously, there's no history, right? There is no such thing actually as time. So therefore, everything that you're experiencing is only you remembering it. It's not you learning it again. And that's another profound part of, because I think you've touched on that as well.
Yes, exactly. So I mean, like I said, if you knew how powerful you are, you would laugh, because this game, you'll come in with amnesia on purpose.
Yeah.
Only some people can sense their power, or some people can tap into it every now and then, but we come basically in with amnesia. And so, because if you knew exactly who you were and you knew how to use your powers, oh my God. Yeah,
but also
it wouldn't be the game. You wouldn't experience it.
No, exactly. And do you think I'm not sure that if they all came in before the level of everybody's ascension got to that within whatever it may be called, 5D or whatever, you'd go back to that source, your own source actually, but you'd go back immediately, because to have not only the fact that you could do all of these amazing things, but actually for other people to see that before they're ready to see and experience that would actually destroy the game for everybody here.
Yes. And the other thing is, here's the thing. Once we get to 5D, we're going to be at about 70% of our power over there.
Right.
So it's going to be very close. Some souls are leaving because they don't want to experience the transition. They came here for the 3D and that's it. And if it's not going to be 3D, I'm not going to experience 5D and be 70%. I might as well go all 100% and go all the way back. It's like that. So, but it's going to be 5D is a beautiful, beautiful, wonderful world. Oh my gosh.
And can we just touch on, Gary, I'll let you jump in, but Dennis, can we just touch on what happens to those that make the choice? Again, this is not saying it's good or bad or making any of those judgments, but for those that remain in a 3D like game, right? They remain in the 3D game. In terms of the physical earth, the manifestation we believe we can see through our lying eyes, what do you see as happening to those that don't make the leap?
Well, all I can tell you is the evolution of the 3D place is not a good thing. Okay, it's not a good thing at all. Okay, and the only reason why it's being kept at bay right now is because of the transition. Because other than that, we're gonna split timelines. And here's another thing people thought, if they're married and one is going to 3D and one is going to 5D, will they ever see their partner again?
Yeah.
And here's the answer. which was quite fascinating for me, was that in 5D, because you have your powers, you'll be able to create a memory of them, and you will get the higher version of them.
Right.
Okay, because it's all about timelines. And see, that's the thing people got to remember. It's
But
also it's not only a dimension, it's a timeline split.
but
Also,
also frequency, right? Because if
yes,
you're at
yes.
that frequency, you can literally have a marriage,
Right, right. Well, yes, it's going to be about frequency. And that's why you're going to lose friends at this point in the transition if they're not matching your frequency. They just drop right out. You won't know why, but all of a sudden they just don't hang out with you anymore. Or you don't hang out with them anymore.
Yeah.
It's for partners, families, the same for everything. Everything is frequency up until the transition. Once the transition happens, everything will go back to being balanced, where people, and it'll be only people in 5D with the same frequency, and only people in 3D with the same frequency. But 3D, like I told you, it will be on the evolution of 3D, and that's it's not a fun place.
Okay.
If you
Fine.
you know,
All right. I've indulged too much.
I don't put down people in the roller coaster.
Yeah, of course.
I call it who like the roller coaster ride.
I think I've had enough of that roller coaster, to be honest. But
yes, yes.
Gary, do you want to ask anything at all?
Yeah, there's a couple of things, but the time is running short as usual. So maybe I'll do it on that. Do you sense a timeline of when this transition is?
The thing is,
is it controlled purely divinely, or is there an aspect of the progress we are making as collective?
Well, it's a little bit of both. I mean, the Earth is a soul, so it's called already years ago for star seeds to come here to just help her raise the vibration. Okay. And star seeds are just people who generate love and positive energy on the planet. And they have a hard time dealing with the earth life because they're very sensitive, those type of people. But they're generating only love, and that's lifting the planet faster and faster. So she's doing that. I think of it like this, if you wanted to move to another apartment, you could do it yourself, but it would take a lot longer. But if you call your friends, it's going to move a lot faster. Okay. But at the same time, what I got was the earth is giving everybody a chance to change your vibration if you want to go to 5D. That's why this information, that's why I'm here and I'm telling people about it. And that's why I'm here, to give everybody a chance if they want to change their vibration. And I'm going to say this real quick because I know we're running out of time, but for your listeners, if you want to keep a higher vibration, you should make a list of 10 things. The first should be nature. If you live near a park, a lake, or a tree, you go sit under the tree for 1 hour, your vibration rises automatically. You don't have to do anything. The 9 other things will be personal to you. Could be your favorite book, could be a favorite dessert, funny friend, could be a funny movie, could be music, could be artwork, could be writing, drawing, could be creating, because creating is high vibration, could be a picture, could be a good book. Okay. The other thing I want to say really fast is it's not about, you should never be on low vibrations. It's about knowing what to do when you're on low vibrations. You have to be like a 3-year-old, let's say for you, be a 3-year-old little boy. What a 3-year-old little boy does, he runs around the corner, runs down the street real fast, he falls, boom, then he screams. He feels that low vibration emotion. But a minute later, that same 3-year-old little boy is laughing because he felt that low vibration emotion, but then he let it go. And that's the thing. Adults try to hold on to it for days, weeks, even years. But you have to be like that little boy. Feel it and then let it go. So, because I'm not telling you listeners, hey, just be happy and everything will work out. No, I'm telling you, if you have to feel low vibration emotion, feel it, but then let it go. Okay? Because otherwise, if you put it under a rug, what's going to happen? Somebody's going to say, hey, Gary, how you doing? You're going to explode because you're trying to be happy, holding back all those negative low vibration emotions. Okay. Yeah. So.
Yeah, great. Well, look, we'd love you to join us again at some point, Dennis. I know we're only We often
Listen,
say this.
Casper, Gary, anytime you want, anytime you need, I'm always open to talk with you guys. I love your perspectives on everything, and yeah, I'm very honored to be on your
No,
show.
it's incredibly kind, and I'm so glad that we've had you on. I want, you know, all of the guests we have, I want on, but I must confess I was particularly looking forward to this, and thank you very much.
And I want to tell you a quick heads up. March 29, I'm going to be in London doing a psychic
Wow.
workshop.
Fantastic.
Okay.
Okay. So
Well,
if you go on my website, truthenergyreadings.com, that's readings with an S, Truth Energy Readings, one word with an S.
We'll put that in
.com. You'll see on my website events, and you'll see that I'm doing a 3-day event from the 29th of March.
Brilliant.
In London. Okay.
Well, we'll try to encourage anybody to go to that, and we'll try to meet up with you as well.
Great.
Brilliant.
So it's a pleasure, Gary and Casper. Thank you for having me on your show.
It's an absolute pleasure, and we hope to see you again soon, maybe in person.
Well, this will be a real treat.
Yeah.
And we can really talk then.
Yeah, of course. Yeah. Over a nice meal, maybe.
No comment.
Right.
No comment.
Right, exactly.
Brilliant. Take care.
Oh, brilliant.
Lovely
Take care.
to see you. Thank you very much, Dennis.
You too. Take care. Thanks, Gary. Thanks, Casper.